Hello, welcome back to Ready, Set, Enjoy. My name's Connor, and today we're talking about the winter survival and bushcrafting course that I am leaving for tomorrow morning. And this video is going to be kind of part 2 out of 3 in this series, where I talk about my pack and all of the gear I'm going to have in there to help me survive, participate in the class, learn what the instructor has to teach me, and come out the other side, hopefully not regretting going camping in what is going to be very, very cold, potentially up to minus 30 degrees Celsius, which in Fahrenheit is also around minus 30. So it is going to be extremely cold. Thankfully, there's a very experienced instructor leading the course who has run this same course for several years, and they have all the necessary safety things in place. They have backup cabins with heat should we need them, and there's going to be shelter building and fires, obviously, so we will hopefully be a-okay. So I'm going to take you through all of the gear that I'm going to be bringing, and if you want to check out the last video in this series, that was about the chest rig that I'm going to have with me to carry some of my more like quick access gear. And so that's where I covered kind of like the knife and the fire gear and the flashlight and all that stuff. My pack is going to be more keeping me warm, keeping me fed, and some larger tools and stuff that don't fit in that rig. So let's get right into the winter survival camping pack and let's see how it goes. Everything is laid out here on my basement couch because this needed, I needed quite a bit of space to lay all this out while I check everything off my list. So right after I film this video, I am going to actually pack all of this, starting with the bag itself. This is a 45-liter hiking pack. It's actually my wife's because I do not own one of these myself. So it's a 45-liter mech bag. So Canadians, if you know Mech, Mountain Equipment Company, they make really excellent stuff. 45 liters will hopefully be enough. I did a test pack and I think it's going to be okay. Next up, I've got my sleeping bag. So this is a Mountain Hardwear Bishop's Pass bag. It is rated for survival down to the extreme temperature they list is negative 38 degrees Celsius, which won't be too far off from what we're dealing with here. The nominal kind of, I guess, safe temperature is only negative 18, but I've got other stuff to keep me warm as well, so hopefully that will just be one of many things keeping me warm. Next up, we have an insulated camping mat, I guess, underlayment, kind of the foam insulated camp mat. Then we've got a fairly heavy duty pure wool blanket. This is something that the instructor said that we should bring. I believe the nominal or the default outcome of this course would be we only use that. This other stuff is, I guess, in addition or extra. Now moving on to what I will be wearing. So I've got 2 base layers. I've got a wool polyester blend sweater. I've got merino wool long underwear, thermal underwear. I got a pair of pants, and I've got a pair of heavyweight merino wool socks. So if you watched my How to Survive Winter video, merino wool, merino wool, merino wool, merino wool, head to toe in merino wool, and then additional base layers additional mid layers, and then we'll talk about the shells in a second. Then for headgear, we've got a merino wool balaclava, head to toe, a fleece neck warmer slash gaiter, a 3M Thinsulate hunting rated toque, and then we have 3 layers of gloves, so merino wool glove liners, merino wool lined and leather constructed ski gloves, and then I just picked these up last night. These are full leather with a insulated lining. These are over mitts, so these are big enough to go over top of the other gloves to give me just that extra layer of warmth just in case it's necessary. Then I'm packing extras of certain things, so an extra toque, extra pair of merino socks, extra sweater, extra thermal underwear, and extra pair of pants just in case anything gets wet. Merino wool is good at handling, moisture, but you can never be too careful in these scenarios. Then for the shell layer, I've got my Patagonia 3-in-1 parka, and I've got my Patagonia insulated work overalls. These things are extremely warm and extremely good at keeping the moisture off of you and the snow out of your boots. Highly recommend those ones. They're extremely comfortable and really warm. Next up, we've got my 8-inch tall insulated Timberland Pro leather work boots. These are the warmest boots that I own by a wide margin, and they're also the tallest boots that I own, so they will be hopefully keeping my feet nice and warm. So that is all of the clothing. Now, not all of that is going to be going into the actual pack itself. Of course, I'm going to be wearing a lot of it, so the backup clothes and the warmth stuff, the sleeping bag and the blanket, that will go in and attach to the pack, and then a lot of this stuff will be actually on my body, of course. Next, let's get into the extra gear that will not be in my chest pack. That's all the chest pack stuff from the previous video. This is all the gear that's going to be in the pack because it doesn't make sense for it to be on my body. So first up, I've got some kind of extra emergency warmth stuff. So this is a hot water bottle. A really good trick if it's truly cold outside is to put some warm, but obviously not boiling or super hot water in this, and then put it in between your legs in the sleeping bag. That will keep your body extra toasty. And then this is an emergency bivy bag by Survive Outdoors Longer. I've never had to actually use this, but it is kind of like a thermal blanket or like an emergency blanket that is essentially the shape of a sleeping bag. So you can add this as an extra layer when you're sleeping to keep well, you don't have to be sleeping, but an extra layer to reflect your body heat and keep you extra warm. Next up, we've got my hatchet of choice. So this will only be my second time taking this out on an actual trip, but this is the Grans Force Brook small forest axe. You can see that it is a wonderful piece of Swedish engineering, and it is possibly the sharpest item that I own. It's actually scary sharp. It came from the factory sharper than almost any other tool that I've ever bought, including all the pocket knives that I own. And it came with this nice leather, I don't know if you call it a sheath for an axe, but leather cover to keep things clean. Then I've got my silky saw. So this is the Gomboy. I covered this in the truck video. I usually keep this in the truck. But this is the Gomboy, Silky Gomboy Outback. So this is a smaller but still very effective forestry saw that is very good at cutting small to medium sized branches and trees. Then I've got some 550 paracord. This reel is probably about halfway used up. It was about 250 feet when I bought it, I believe. And there's probably about half of it left, so that should be plenty for whatever shelter building we're going to be doing. I've had this reel for quite a while, and yeah, it's really good quality paracord. Then next up is my cook system. So this is actually something I'll be testing for the first time on this trip. So this is a Sea to Summit 2-liter, I believe, yeah, 2-liter aluminum cook pot with an insulated mug, I suppose, a bowl, and a spork. So it's got a nice detachable handle and a lid, and then the handle clicks on to lock the lid in place. And then in addition, I also got this camping pour over, because I do intend to have some coffee while I'm there. So it unfolds and is kind of this metal mesh, and then there's a square hole in the like little cover thing. So you take your mug, you put the cover on top like that, and then the pour over sits in it just like that, and then that's your coffee set. I'm going to bring some pre-ground coffee. Of course, I'm not going to be someone who brings a coffee grinder with them. I respect the people that do. It's just not who I am. So that's the gear that's going to be in the pack that, obviously was in addition to all of my chest rig gear. Now let's talk about the remaining stuff. Last but not least is food. I'm actually missing a little bit here because I have to run to the store to finish off the food here, but I've got, of course, overkill. One of these I'm going to leave in the truck to have after everything is over, but I've got 2 bags of dried steak strips from Costco. These are super great and really fill you up. And then I'm also going to bring a bag of Uncle Ben's rice, if you know, you know. And I'm also going to bring some packets of oatmeal that are all just, high calorie, good camp food that is easy to prepare or requires no preparation, so that I can keep myself fed while we're doing all of this. There's also going to be some foraging and trapping demonstrations, though I don't expect us to get any actual food from the traps, especially at this time of year. Like I said, all of that is in addition to what I'm going to have in my chest rig. There's a whole video on this, so go and check that out if you want more details. But the very, very quick summary is Garmin InReach, Coyote spray, Leatherman, sunglasses, marker, tinder, lighter, ferro rod, matches, compass, fixed blade, first aid kit, battery, flashlight, headlamp, all going in that chest rig, which will be kind of my quick access, needed all the time type gear. So yeah, check that video out if you want all the details. That just about sums up, or I guess covers in detail everything that I'm bringing with me for my winter wilderness survival and bushcraft course that I'm doing here in less than 24 hours. I'm a little nervous, to be quite honest with you. It is going to be very cold, and I've never done anything other than van camping in this type of weather. So this is going to be a first for me, but I'm looking forward to it as well. I think I'm going to learn a lot, and I think there's a good opportunity for me to gain some skills, gain some knowledge, because that's what this channel is all about. You need the gear, you need the skills, you need the knowledge. Not in that order. Skills and knowledge are more important than the gear, but you know what I mean. So wish me luck. I will film another video afterwards to go over what I learned. I'll try to take some footage while I'm there as well if I'm allowed to. Otherwise, you know what I'm going to say. Stay ready, get set, and go enjoy your life. Thanks.